What's going on, guys? King Shrats here, back in the video on the channel, and today we have got another burger review. This place, it's my first time trying it, but I love trying new burger spots. It's known as 30 Burgers. It's located in Rutherford, New Jersey, but it is a franchise that's growing. There's a bunch of locations throughout New Jersey, but the Rutherford location is the one closest to me. 4.1 rating on Google out of over 200 ratings. The burgers do look good. I've seen some pretty good reviews on Google as well as on Uber Eats and DoorDash. Very good variety of reviews as well. There's a lot of 5-star reviews that raved about how good the food was. There are some 1-star ratings that are a little funny in my opinion. One of which, I'm sorry for laughing, but I just found it funny. They were, I'm not editing this. Wait. Some people, I'm not editing this, bro. Some people have some crazy stuff when it comes to rating. This person gave a 1-star review. They thought the food was good, but they gave it 1 star because the faucet in the bathroom was broken. I can't say it without laughing. I'm sorry. We're not editing that, bro. The bathroom faucet was broken. They proceeded to put a picture. I'm gonna put it up in the picture of the faucet running, bro. Whatever. Anyway, variety of different kind of burgers, different kind of toppings in the burgers. I didn't get any traditional burgers because, you know, I'm weird like that. So I got 2 different kinds of burgers that were some of the most popular ones, as well as their #1 most popular item, which happened to be wings. So don't mind if I do, you know, let me some wings. And I got a panini, as well as they have chili cheese fries, you know, cheese fries, things of that nature, but I went with the plain French fries as well as the onion rings. So that is what we have on deck for you today. I'm sorry for laughing so much, but the 1-star faucet is crazy. Let's get into this video. Okay, let's start with this Nacho Burger. So here is the close-up of the Nacho Burger. I love the presentation. I love when burger joints give that little this wax paper, and then they give you the nice little, it just makes the burger look that much better. But here's what's on it. It's topped with pepper jack cheese, jalapenos, salsa, guacamole, tortilla chips, nachos, both, and ranch dressing on a, I don't even want to say this, but it's an onion bun. I don't want to say it because it's called the Miami onion bun. High heat fans. Anyway, let's get into this burger. Let's do this, man. Look at this. All right, first bite. Let's see. Okay, just drip. I don't even know which bite to take. One more time. Right, my friend. I know I got stuff in my face. Okay. The patty is, a lot of burger joints I have issues with this. The patty seems to be the worst part of this entire burger. The onion bun, I love an onion bun. I like onion bagels. I just like that toasted onion flavor that it gives. It's a very good bun. The toppings have guac. They have the salsa. There's a lot going on there, which I really do enjoy. The tortilla chips, because of the guac and the cheese and everything else, of course, they don't have the same crunch that they would do unless you're going to sit there and eat it right in the store. Burger joints, for me, even these kind of burger joints are optional. In my opinion, you can take it home. The restaurant isn't like that large that most people don't even, I didn't see anybody sitting in there, but I did see people ordering the food. My gripe always comes with the same thing when it comes to a lot of these places. This is definitely 100% beef. It's not like a weird mixture of anything. Again, I repeat this. Salt and pepper, even salt and pepper goes a long way on a patty. In my opinion, it makes a huge difference. The patty looks like there's no option on how you want it cooked. It looks like it's medium well to well done, which I don't really mind on a burger. Only with a steak am I like truly like a stickler about. Let's bite this piece right here. The guac is decent. I don't think it's homemade. It definitely tastes like the kind you get from the supermarket. I don't necessarily mind that. But again, I'm not a guac expert, so I can't give you too much feedback on that. My main issue again comes with the patty. The texture wise, it's not bad at all. That ain't Toretto. I don't know who that is. New guess. But it just doesn't move me as much as when I get like an elite burger. With the toppings and everything else, it's really not that bad. Price wise, it's a little over $10. So these days, that's pretty normally priced. Unfortunately, for some people may think that's a bit too expensive, but for the amount that you get, I don't. I think it's a good burger, but it's not an elite burger, but the toppings are going to make it carry it. Depending on which ones you get, which they have a ton, and I do enjoy that part. But any indicator of a great burger joint is if you can just have a good burger patty. I also want to preface this. It's more of a disclaimer than anything. Again, I do read the comments just to make sure that people and me are on the same page. When I say something isn't salted and then turn around and say something has too much salt, I feel like that's a normal thing. There's always a right amount of salt. If you put a ton of salt on something, it's going to overflavor and overpower things to just taste salty. And if you don't put enough, it won't have any at all, and then it's missing something. So there is like a bar graph where there's like a right amount of salt somewhere right in the middle. And if you're in that region, I'm happy with it. In this case, there's absolutely no salt. I need some on there. Salt, pepper, for me, garlic powder, onion powder, something. But to give that patty a nice little taste. With all that being said, I still think it's a good burger, and I would eat it again, but I would be lying if I didn't say I haven't had better in this area. I would give it a 6.8 out of 10. This was the top ordered burger at this restaurant. This is a Philly burger, which, you guessed it, it is a Philly cheesesteak on top of a burger. So it has Philly steak, the sauteed onions, American cheese, ketchup, and mayo on their whatever bun you pick. Again, it's the Miami onion bun. Now, just upon inspection, looking at this, I can see the steak, and look, I grew up eating it. This is steak. I know what a steakum is. You can do with that whatever you want to. Am I complaining? I don't know. If the steakum isn't seasoned, I've eaten unseasoned steakum and it don't hit. So I'm just going to be honest about that fact. But let's get into this. Where's the onions? Okay, there are the onions too. Big burgers though. I like that. This one's better. This is pretty good. Let me try to steakum. A lot of steakum on here. There's got to be like half of a package. Steakum is in. Try the burger. This burger was cooked a little better. It has a char on the outside, but again, it's not seasoned very well at all. What really makes this, and I enjoy this one a lot more, the sauteed onion, cheddar, well, it's American, combo is pretty good. This one is much better. And it's very meaty. I don't know if people want to say something about that, but it's a meaty burger. Love the onion flavor. I don't know if I'm getting it. Oh, there's a little bit of mayo on here. Would have liked a little more, but I'm just nitpicking at this point. This one seems like it cooked a lot better to me too. It's a little more juicy. I would pick that one over this one, 100%. I can see why that's the most ordered burger. I don't mind steakum. I like steakum. I'm not saying a lot of you. I used to eat it all the time. Just put a little something on there. Other than that, much better. 7.8 out of 10. And finally, we have the cheddar chicken melt, which is grilled chicken with smoked bacon, tomatoes, caramelized onions, chipotle mayo, melted cheddar cheese with a side of barbecue sauce. I'm going to dip it in the barbecue sauce in a second. I just want to get in here on this chicken. Look at this thing. It's falling apart though. It looks like the caramelized onions are actually red onions, and you can taste the difference. That's not bad. Chicken's a little on the dry side, but it seems like the chicken is actually seasoned more than any of the burgers that I've had. I love cheddar bacon combo with the caramelized onions. It's just a nice little combo when you put it on a burger, on a chicken sandwich, whatever. It's going with this barbecue sauce too. KC Masterpiece. How do I know that? I like KC Masterpiece. It's got a sweet brown sugar molasses kind of vibe. I like a KC Masterpiece. Kind of helps. Overall, it's okay. The panini seems like it's not toasted enough when you look at it. There's no like char marks or grill marks on here, like they try to do it real quick. So what ended up happening is, with all the stuff in the chicken patty or sandwich, it's kind of falling apart a little bit. I like all of the toppings. The chicken is a little dry. It's one of those things that's like, okay, I'll rock with it. But I think it costs like $11.50. And again, I know of other places I can get a similar panini for less with fries. So with all that, I give it a 5 out of 10. I don't know why I neglected the fries, but probably should have ate those first. These look like seasoned fries, the frozen version, but a pretty decent fry. They definitely are the seasoned fries that I've had before. I don't know what kind of sauces they gave me, to be honest with you. Let's open these up though. Let's see what this is. Looks like ketchup and mayo. Yep. Ketchup, mayo, and fries is a W for me. And we got ranch. Now I'm sure there's some kind of burger seasoning. No, that's not for me. I already know what's in there. Just for me. If you know, you know. The fries, they're frozen. These are like the ones I buy from Walmart, to be honest. I like those fries. But you get a good amount for them. I think it's like $5 for an order. It's okay. If I bought them myself, I'd probably give them a higher rating, but for that reason, I'll probably give them, I would give them a 6 out of 10. They're still good though. I ain't got a problem with them for real. It's just, it's a weird thing when you know what you're eating. And you're like, because you get a big bag from Walmart. And you know I know. Like $2.38. Onion rings. Look like they have a beer batter. It's not a bad onion ring. Nice crunch on them. A little mayo chip. That's alright. I would pick the onion rings before I pick the fries. They might be frozen. I'm not 100% sure. If anybody knows that this is a brand, you can let me know. I know y'all are better at that stuff than me. But they're definitely cooked right. Onion rings are one of those things. As long as you cook them right, they're still going to be good. 7.5 out of 10. And last, they had their number one order on there were the wings. Got like 10 or 15 different sauces. I went with one of my tried and true. I was going to get lemon pepper, which is my normal number one. But I decided to switch it up a little bit, but not too much. And get my number 2, which is garlic parm. So these are the garlic parm wings. Supposedly the number one thing ordered at this restaurant. That's not bad. There is a pool of this sauce on the bottom of this. I didn't shake it up because I didn't want them to get soggy. So I'm just gonna dip. I've eaten so many wings in this area that I can tell who the supplier of this wing is. A lot of restaurants use the same supplier. You can find it at Restaurant Depot. They're not frozen. Just so you know, it's not a diss. I just am pointing out that I can tell. When it comes down to these wings, what matters the most is the sauce. This sauce is not bad for a jarred sauce. I can tell that it's jarred, but it is good. And if I'm being real, a lot of some of the higher rated wing places around here, some I've reviewed, some haven't, the sauces are jarred. Like you can go pick them up, usually at a Restaurant Depot, which around here is like a large Sam's Club, Costco type of restaurant, but you have to have like an LLC to get into it, or know someone that does. I actually have the thing for Restaurant Depot. But they are nice and crispy. A little bit. The sauce is decent, but it's very rich, very butter based, which 6 of those is enough. With my garlic parm, I don't want them overly like, I don't really taste the Parmesan. I just taste butter and garlic more than anything. When it has that butter base, butter tends to overpower it when it's like too much butter. And that's kind of what happened here. But I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say that those wings are mid. They actually still are good. I would probably order those again. Not to say it's my number one thing, but if I went here, a W order would be one of these burgers, probably this one, with the wings, and then I would get some onion rings, and I would call it from there. So you could definitely find stuff to eat at this place. The wings themselves, I would give a 7 out of a 10. Overall, is this place good? It's good. Again, this is just me always trying to be 100% honest. There are burger joints that I've had that are better than this. This is a franchise, so they might have better locations. I like to customize. I like the options, but with a lot of places like this, when you're not going to like what a real, not necessarily real, but a true mom and pop one-off, they seem to put a little more love into burgers. They seem to put a little more seasoning, a little more TLC in burgers. When you go to a franchise or a place that has been franchised, usually the people who are cooking your food aren't the ones that own it. And when you're dealing with stuff like that, where there's no hands-on owner, a lot of times the quality control can go back and forth because, and I don't blame employees for this personally, but when you've got, you know, a young a person who's maybe 18, 19, like they just trying to make this burger, but they don't care that much if you like it. Like they're not gonna, you know what I mean? And that goes a long way of why I prefer mom and pop restaurants, because when you got the owner that's in the trenches sitting in here, you know, in the restaurant every day, whether they're cooking the food or not, they're going to be on top of the quality and stuff like that more than anybody, because they're the ones that, like, it's make or break for them for this one place. When you're dealing with franchises, sometimes you have multiple owners or they can't be all in one place at once, so you might deal with quality control problems. You might go here and get a completely different experience than I did, which is completely normal, and it happens a lot when I deal with the not necessarily large level franchises, but the ones that are expanding. Sometimes there can be a bit of a quality control issue when I visit multiple locations. But overall, I would give this place, the 4.1 is pretty accurate. It's good. It's not great. It's good though. I would still say that the price point and for everything, that there are just better options for the quality of stuff that you get as far as like how good it is. But we're always going to be transparent about that. Again, I know there's people out there that like this place because it's been suggested by a few of you, and I'm not saying that you're crazy. You might have gotten a different experience than me, which again is 100% normal. So I respect it. For me, it's a place that I would go to, but I wouldn't like be like, oh, you gotta. But there's a lot of people. I think you play. Anytime I give something like this, where you might, and I start saying stuff like that, you might want to try it yourself. If you're like into burgers and stuff like that, you might have a completely different experience. So don't think that I'm telling you not to go to some place, because I would never do that. I'm just always 100% honest from my point of view, how I feel when I try this stuff, and I gave you that take. Before I get out of here, let's talk about, because I know y'all want to hear it, I talked about it on stream yesterday, and we'll talk about it real briefly. Again, so now everybody knows, Celtics fan, we get it. I said it before the game, I was proud of them for fighting back and getting back into the thick of things. A lot of teams, when they're down 3-0, are going to roll over. They gave it a try. It just, you know, the same things that plagued them as a team just came back to bite them, which is why I've said since it was 3-0 that I don't think they can win 4 in a row. I've said it the entire time. I believed that they could have been. They've always shown inconsistencies in how they play as a team. Defensive effort goes like this, you know, and they're a team that's heavily reliant on three-point shooting and the individual play of certain players, namely Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Yesterday was one of those weird days, and it happened twice in this series where they didn't get any of those. Tatum got hurt. He can't really help that. You saw it. He was visibly hobbled. Jaylen Brown is a great player in my opinion, but he still has some wrinkles in his game that make him incredibly inconsistent, more than Jason Tatum is, which he's still an inconsistent player as well. And the rest of the team is just heavily reliant on pulling and shooting threes, and when they don't go in, they don't really seem to have a plan B to go with anything. And they didn't have all three, and what you saw was the product of that. 80 points in a game is not going to be enough to get it done against anybody. So I'm proud of them for fighting back. You know, I would like to run it back with that same team. I think that the coaching, he needs to improve. He's young. He's 34. And as a coach, he's the youngest coach in the league. And there's no plan B for that team right now. And you can see that when you're going up against an elite coach like Spoelstra. I've always said was elite, even when the big three were there. You know, the Bron days. He's an elite coach because he makes adjustments and he knows how to utilize his players to the best of their abilities. I don't necessarily think the Celtics have that right now, but they have an incredibly talented team. So for that reason, you're always going to be disappointed when a team is that talented and they can't bring one home. You know, it's been 7 years. I think they've been to 5 conference finals, 1 final, and they've never gotten over that hump. So whatever they need to do, I'm not a GM, I'm not an expert, but we'll see. As far as the Heat go, I think they earned it. I think Caleb Martin stepped up and he morphed into like Steph Curry Jr., which is incredible. You know, I didn't see that coming, but he did. Jimmy was good, but not great. He wasn't like normal, like just unreal Jimmy. He had some stretches where he looked kind of tentative, but he still was enough for them. Bam was inconsistent. And, you know, some of those other guys like the Struces and the Robinsons and Vincents, those were guys that contributed for them a lot and a lot more than what the Celtics bench gave them. And that, to me, was the biggest difference in the series as a whole. Going up against the Nuggets, the Heat are going to have their hands cut out. Like, they're you know, it's going to be a battle for the Heat to beat the Nuggets as well as they've been playing. As great as Jokic has been in the playoffs, and Murray and some of those other guys, it's going to be a tough order for them. But they have some things that can help. They play a zone on defense, which kind of helps negate some of the things that the Nuggets do, because they're very big on like backside passes and you know, slip screens and things like that that usually zones can negate. And Jokic's athleticism is not the type of player that he's the type of player that just consistently can almost like how Embiid does, where he just kind of puts his head down and dribbles because he's incredibly athletic for a big man. Jokic is more of a player that he's not athletic, but he's so talented. So it's still going to probably be, I still think the Heat win, but I expect Miami to fight because they've proven it that they can beat teams that are better than them. They've done it multiple times this postseason. So that's my NBA update. I'll still talk about the finals too. I'm not one of those people that, you know, when my team gets knocked out, I'm weird about it and stuff like that. So we'll talk about it. If you happen to catch a stream, we always talk about this stuff. Pretty much every single stream that I've done in the last like month. You know, when football season kicks up, we talk about that. We talk about soccer. We always talk about sports and other topics, but, you know, there's a lot of guys in there that like to talk sports too, so we always talk about that kind of stuff. But that's going to be the end of the video. I did want to touch on it because some people say, okay, you didn't talk about it. I talked about it. So I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Thank you again for your support. And we'll be back tomorrow. More content, man. I love y'all. The hand signs, they made it to YouTube.